Hello, everyone. This is Mihaela with the Duchess, who is back. Well, she's always been around, but I mean, she's back in my sphere. I had to get away from her. I believe the last episode I did was on the first season of the last episodes of her Netflix series with Love Megan. And that was draining to say the least. And now she's back. She's enchanting us with an interview on Bloomberg. I must say, she is the only person on this planet who, as an actress, she was on a show called Suits, lacks any acting skills of any kind. She cannot be real in a real interview. How could then she be real as an actress? As an actress, you must be real. You cannot fake it in. The actors who fake behavior are called, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? They are called bad actors. And Duchesse was coming back right before her second season was dropped on Netflix, which I will not watch. I saw some clips from it, and it's even more devastating. It is even more fake than the first one, if that's even possible. You may ask, why am I wearing a hat? I don't know why I'm wearing a hat because she wore a hat. So why not me wear a hat? I want a part of Meghan Markle. I want to aspire to be like her. So instead of the jar of jam, instead of paying money for that, to be able to capture the essence of Meghan and to have it for myself, instead of buying that and eating the jam, so I can then use the jam to put my pencils in, just to have a sensory experience with her empty jar in my house, I decided to just buy my own hat and have her in that way. She was wearing a lot of hats in her first season. That's why I'm wearing a hat. So I can give you guys the understanding of what it's like to be like Meghan, the Duchess. This interview is going to be hard to watch. So I don't know how many segments I'm going to be able to watch, but I will try. I will try. I will do my best to try. My general doctor, who's a Romanian doctor that I go to for so many years, he's always telling me not to slouch. Don't slouch. Let's see how fake Meghan Markle can be in a real interview. And I call it real, not because it's a good interview, because this woman from Bloomberg who's interviewing her is as fake as Meghan is. That's the only way you can interview Meghan, by being fake. You can't bring somebody who's going to put the real questions out there, knowing that you're dealing with a fake person. So Duchesse is back, and let's see what she has to say about her. Let's see what she has to say about her endeavors since the last time that we on my YouTube channel, which has no name at this point. Well, for this period, it's called Follow Mihaela. Mihaela is me. That's my name. It's Mihaela. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's try to see. Hello, Libby Wilson. I'm so glad you're here. I'm late too because I have no idea when this goes on or when this goes off. So you haven't missed anything. Is my microphone working, Libby Wilson? I don't even know what this is. Share your referral link. I'm not even going to try to attempt to do any sort of figuring out all these things on the left. Okay. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex on life and business. Let's see what she's got to say. Enchanting. We're going to be enchanted. We're going to find out so many new stories about her life. Thank you. Thank you, Libby Wilson. And I'm waving to you and I'm giving you a kiss. Mwah. Let's go. Let's go. I'm stealing this gesture from her. Oh my goodness. Why am I doing that? Why am I stealing her gestures? Because I want to have a part. I want to have a part of her. And I cannot afford to get her jam, strawberry jam, so I can then use the empty jar to put things in it, as she will advise and suggest that we all do when we buy her produce. She makes everything in such a way that we can hold on to it forever and aspire to be like her. How sweet.
Store, a location in the latest season of her Netflix series. We talked big decisions for her business.
And suddenly the conversation goes from a few thousand jars and lids to we need to do a purchase order of 1 million.
I got her response to feedback on her show, the good and the bad.
Are they saying negative things and then secretly going home and making single skillet spaghetti? Possibly.
And things got real, all before noon on a Tuesday.
When do you feel the least Duchess of Sussex?
Oh my God. Didn't hear.
I cannot believe that this is even the question of the interviewer. And things got real. She makes a statement which is completely not in their scenario. You cannot get things real having somebody like Meghan Markle be unreal. Why would you even ask that? Or why would you even make a statement like that? Because the audience is then going, I'm not going to watch the rest of it. Because you're already taking us on a false pretense of what this interview is about. This is completely ridiculous. What do you like? What do you guys think about my new hat? I just got it and it was on sale, 50% off. That's why I got it now at the end of the summer to have for next summer. But yeah, how can you say, and things got real, when she's being asked about all the negative comments and she says, but do we know those are real comments? Or maybe they are just saying what the negative thoughts have been of so many people in watching my Netflix series, but then they go home and they cover their windows, they hide behind walls so they can make the recipes that Meghan Markle was attempting to make on her. Is that what you think people do? Do you think that people have time to do that, to take so much time out of their lives and actually say one thing, which is, we do not like your show, it is fake, it is not your house, you come in and you cannot even be a real human being in your compartment. So how are you telling us that we're getting to know another side of you when you only have one side? The one that you present to the public, the one that you are in private, the one that you do on a show, the one that you did on the one show suit. People watch actors, people watch reality stars to be able to get to know who they are. And then they will get to know what they love and what they do. But if we cannot get through to you because you're so covered and blocked all the time, all you care about is trying to be perfect, when that's an impossible goal for anybody. Trying to do perfection does not exist. So your attempt of trying to get there is always going to be a failure. That's why everything you put your hands on is a failure. Admit it. That would be the first thing that you would want to do. Admit the failures. There's nothing wrong with it. And then people would start to go, oh, she realizes, she's self-aware. She understands that now she's got to do something different because everything that she thought that she was doing that was so perfect is not working. But you're not even doing that. You're not doing that. You won't even accept what this woman is saying when she's asking you about all the negative comments that have been attributed by so many people to your show. You're figuring out how to change that around so you can come on top, but you don't. You just come as a delusional Meghan. My goodness, how exciting is this, isn't it?
Eating a smash burger with you being asked these questions.
The big question is, can Meghan have a second act as an entrepreneur and a tastemaker?
Oh my goodness, Meghan, how does it feel to be a Duchess of Sussex? What are the moments in your life when you can just let go of being the Duchess of Sussex? Because you know you've been one all your life, and that's what you've grown up with. And it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. It must be so hard for you to just let the Duchess title to be on the side because you don't want it. It was placed upon you when you joined the royal family, and now you have to endure it. It's such a heavy weight on your shoulders. I can understand. I can empathize with you, Meghan. No, it's not Meghan Markle saying in her Would Love Meghan on Netflix, her first season. Who did she say that to? It was to one of the actresses, one of the guests that she had on one of her episodes, when she said, Meghan Markle, something. It was some comedian, I don't know, but she said something to Meghan Markle, and Meghan Markle goes, oh, you know, I am Meghan Sussex now, with a butter knife ready to take her to pieces because she called her Markle. Duchess, when do you not feel like a Duchess of Sussex? Well, right now, I don't feel like one because I'm sitting here with you, and I'm going to keep on lying that I don't because we're having these amazing hamburgers that everybody has, but I'm going to talk about them as if nobody's ever talked about hamburgers in their life. This is my authentic presentation. That's why my business is going to be so big. It's going to become global because I am authentic. My authenticity is beyond anybody else. It is beyond Ryan Reynolds, who's a mega movie star. It is beyond Gwyneth Paltrow, who's an extraordinary actress. And based on their talent, they were able to come with product that people then embraced, but it was based on what they did, they accomplished for themselves first, to then want people to experience what they liked and what their products were. It's got to be based on something. You can't just come up with products when you haven't even done your first act in acting. This woman is asking her, oh, will Meghan's second act be so much better than the first act? Well, where's the first act? What second act? Where's your first act? It's one first show and only show, Suits. That's it. That's all. That she now in the second Netflix series I saw in one of the clips, she goes back to that. She even asks one of her new guests on the new show, have you ever watched Suits? Because I was in Suits. And he goes, no, I don't watch basic cable. And then she laughs, that fake laugh. But it's real. She's in a real moment right now having this interview. Without having the first act, this woman is asking her about her second act. Ay, ay, ay. Ce se întâmplă? I'm going to go into Romanian and English.
Can she succeed on her own terms? And will a highly skeptical world even let her?
If you could choose one thing for people to know the truth about you, what would that one thing be?
The one thing, oh gosh, what's the one thing?
World even let her.
If you could choose one thing for people to know the truth about you, what would that one thing be?
Look at her reactions. It's as if she hasn't prepared for this interview. It's as if she didn't know that she was going to do this interview. It's as if she did not actually make it happen. I'm sure she was fighting so hard to get to do this interview. But then she reacts and she wants us to believe that she's so authentic and original and in the moment, in the response that she has. Watch her go. Oh God, what would that be? What would that be? What would that be? She looks up at the gods. Gods inspire me to say something original. Make me be a real human being. Make me be a truthful person. At least if she did that, praying to God for inspiration, I would have been like, oh my goodness, bravo, Meghan Markle, bravo. Because we all do that. We want to be inspired in everyday life. We need to be inspired. We need to have inspiration. She doesn't even know how to do that. She looks up, oh God, but she doesn't have a thought in her mind. She's just thinking how to fake this moment so she can come authentically in front of this woman and her audiences. That's not how you do it. You do it when you're actually going through the real motions and emotions of what that question is, without thinking, I'm going to try to make the moment feel real. It's not about thinking to make the moment feel. It's about feeling it. You feel it. That's what great actors do. Of course, yes, Libby. Of course, she was given all these questions beforehand, and now she's trying to do her acting, which is bad. No, this is not bad. Acting and bad is what she's doing because she's never done any kind of real acting. She doesn't know that acting requires for you to be moment to moment in the experience of the moment, not about thinking how to make it feel real. It's about feeling it real in the moment by just listening to what the other person is giving you, by what the question is, and really think about it and then answer. You don't have to make all these gestures to look up at the sky without any kind of purpose, without any kind of intention. And that's what she does. And that's why she's so fake. I mean, look at the way that she's even like laying her body. She's kind of doing her body because she knows that she's not real, because she knows she doesn't have any concrete, authentic, original thing to say. She knows it. She is the most insecure person that I've seen. And everything that she puts out there is to try to cover her insecurities. Instead of allowing those to come up, allow the flaws, speak about your flaws. That's what great actors do when they portray their characters. They bring their own flaws, they bring their qualities into the character. They choose which go for the character and they allow them to be seen by the audience. Because that's how the audience is going to relate to those characters, through their own flaws and qualities. None of that. None of that. That's why she's a bad actress.
The one thing, oh gosh, what's the one thing?
Oh, the circuit with Emily Chang. So we know it's Emily Chang who's the interviewer. And it was such a brilliant moment to stop and pause. Oh, what's the one thing? Meghan Markle, you're doing an interview on camera. You're not on a stage right now. The gesture of, oh, let's see what it is. It would be a theatrical gesture if you have a huge thousands of people audience in front of you. Then you would do that, to try to reach everybody, even the people in the back, but not here in front of a camera. I feel like I have a reflection on my face. I hope I don't. Let's go on.
Hi! This is my friend's place. This is Godmother's.
It is so beautiful.
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, they did a spectacular job with it. This is their wall of godmothers who lit the way.
I love it.
Yeah, and you'll love the space in here. I mean, they have such a beautiful curation of fantastic books. Hi there. And the kids section upstairs.
Okay.
Is
Yes.
amazing. Yeah.
I love a kid section. What's your guilty pleasure? Are you like a thrillers?
This is, again, it's not enough that she did with Love Meghan on Netflix in a studio rather than use her own house. She keeps saying everything that she says is not being accompanied by her actions. Even now with this interviewer, Emily, now we found out her name, she takes her to another house, to another thing. She never brings anybody into her own space because she doesn't even know how to be her own self. That's why she avoids her house. That's why she avoids her things. She's always avoiding real, genuine humanity. And then she talks about real, genuine humanity, but it's not accompanied by the action of it. It's just words. So she's bringing this woman to some place with all these incredible women on in the few pictures that we saw, because she's always aspired to be like them, but she's never wanted to do the work to be like them. I think it was Ben Miller, one of the actresses that was there. Not Ben Miller. What was her name? The famous 1950s actress that was in one of the pictures. What was her name? This one. No, this was, sorry, what was the name? I Love Lucy. Yeah, I Love Lucy. I mean, this woman was like, she's a legend. She was one of the most fantastic, unbelievable comedian and actress. And she's surrounding herself, she's bringing herself to all these places that don't belong to her. She has nothing to do with these people, nothing at all, because she hasn't achieved anything except for getting the prince. That's what she achieved, which is good. But talk about that. Don't call him my husband. My husband. Where is the husband? She does that all the time. Just be in your own home. Let's see.
Version of your story or what feels true to you in it. And within all those pages, it's just such a great space for discovery. And I think that makes people feel safe. A book in a long time.
Job with it.
This is their wall of godmothers who lit the way.
I love it.
Yeah, and you'll love the space in here. I mean, they have such a beautiful curation of fantastic books. Hi there. And the kids section upstairs.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I love a kid section. What's your guilty pleasure? Are you like a thrillers?
Oh my gosh.
Trashy romance?
Well, I spend so much time reading children's books. You have 4 kids?
Yes, I do.
So, you know, our kids are 4 and 6. And so at the end of the night, I do that. And then I haven't really gotten into a book in a long time.
Mm-hmm. I know, it's hard.
Yeah,
I also
kids'
read
books,
a lot
parenting
of
books.
children's books. Parenting, self-help.
Yeah. And then my late night indulgence now is just a lot of Duolingo. Do you ever do that? Oh, it's great.
When I can find the time, what are you Duolingoing?
I'm Duolingoing French.
Yeah.
I committed to relearning it.
Oh
and
my
so,
goodness,
yeah.
I'd love to do that.
It's really fun.
So I saw that you were at the opening of this place with Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about how bookstores felt like a safe space. Tell me about that.
You know, I think bookstores, you can find your story there. You can find some version of your story or what feels true to you in it. And within all those pages, it's just such a great space for discovery. And I think that makes people feel safe.
She's contradicting everything that she says. She goes from one thing and then she goes the opposite direction. She doesn't make any sense. She's more aware of not knowing what to do with her hands in the way that she's walking around. She doesn't know, because most of actors are having the same issue. We don't know what to do with our hands, or in my acting classes, we talk about this all the time. It's so hard to know what to do with your hands when you're in public, because you have to be private in public, right? You have to be yourself. Plus the additional scenario of what the character is going through and all of the things that you're analyzing about the character. So find different parts of yourselves that are going to go with the character's needs and interpretations. And the hardest thing is knowing what to do with the hands. But if you just acknowledge that I don't know what to do with my hands, then the path of truth of what to do, like the authentic instinctual self, will know what to do with them. But she doesn't even know that much. She doesn't know how to do that because she doesn't have any skills of acting, none whatsoever. So she's more concerned in the walkabout, this place, that she, of course, Emily's gonna mention Oprah Winfrey because Meghan wants to be associated again, and she wants to remind all of us that Oprah Winfrey is her friend who did the interview when she went against the royal family. That was like the only thing that people watched her do. That's it. That's it. And when she said, I don't want to do having to do with royal family anymore. I want to be myself. I want to own my own story. That's why this bookstore and bookstores in general feel so safe, because you can find your story in the books. Yet, when asked if she's read a book, which kinds of books does she like, she hasn't read one in a long time. Right now, she's relearning French. I thought she spoke French fluently and Spanish fluently. Which is it? Is she relearning French? Does she know French? Have you read a book? You just said you haven't. But this is why you love bookstores so much, because you can find your story in these books that you haven't read. I love Libby. I love your comment. I love all your comments, but I love the one where it says, I have my own story and it cannot be found in a book only because I haven't written it. Exactly. That's so funny. You make me laugh all the time. Thank you so much for that. It's like confusing. Say what you want to say, Megan. Leave your hands down next to your body. Just stay in a neutral stand position. Start with that, as we do in acting classes. One of the acting skills: stand, hands down, walk about. If you don't know what to do with them, just concentrate on, what is my body doing right now as I'm answering these questions. That will make you be real in the way that you walk, focusing on the reality of what is in the moment. Self-awareness. Self-awareness, one of the acting skills. Lacking, none whatsoever. Lying is not what great actors do. Lying is what great actors do not do. Actors must tell the truth. They must live truthfully in the fictional scenarios. Only the scenarios are fictional. They are living truthfully those scenarios. Did she know that? Does she know that? I don't think so. Megan, don't you want to have a piece of me the same way that you want everybody to have a piece of you, and an empty jar that we can take and hold forever and use it for other things that we might need? I'll give you a piece of me. I'll give you some acting skills, acting tips at your fingertips, so you can then know what to do with your fingertips. Ay, ay, ay.
Morning. I'd love a little latte. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Bright and early. It's misty today.
I know.
What would you like?
Can I get an oat milk chai tea latte?
Of course.
Thank
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
All right.
Thank you.
So what is it about Montecito? Like, what made this place feel like home more than other places?
Well, we moved here 5 years ago. Oh, we're just so happy because we can take our kids to school and have a really supported, sweet life, running around and doing the things that I think everyone maybe is part of your day to day. But if you don't think about what life would be like without those moments, it's easy to take them for granted. So I love it. We have such a beautiful, embracing community. And been able to really create and dream here.
Yeah.
All right, coffee.
Yes, yes.
Godmothers. We're still at Godmother's place. Oh, even when she goes to buy the coffee and the chai latte, she takes control of the situation. What would you like, Emily? What would you like? Because I'm the one that's in charge of everything. When you want to be in control so much of everything that's going on, then you can't be yourself, because you're not leaving yourself alone. You have to leave yourself alone, and you have to tell that other voice that's telling you to control. We all have controlling instinct, but you got to have the other voice in your head say to the voice that's controlling, shut up for a second. Shut up for a second. Leave me alone. I got to do this now, which has nothing to do with me controlling the scenario. But no, she goes to, what would you like? What would you like with the hands again? What would you like? What would you like? She's like one of those little people who are coming up with, the old style of theatrical gestures when they would come on stage, and in order to show to the audience that they are mischievous, they go, hello, hello to everybody out there. Hello, people in the theater. I'm doing this with my hands because you might not be smart enough to understand that my character is mischievous. No, people who are mischievous, they don't show us they're mischievous. People who are drunk, they don't show us they're drunk. People who are whatever they are, they try to hide that. She doesn't know how to do that because it's another acting skill that she hasn't learned. I don't know what acting school she went to. I know she was on a lot of sets with her father, whom now she doesn't even acknowledge when she talks about her childhood or anything. When she talks about food or the fact that she went to college and she had a job and she had to sustain herself financially, blah, blah. She never mentions him. Where before she met Prince Harry in her TIG before, which is now as ever. She always wanted to do that, and now she's doing it with a lot more people following her due to her connections to Prince Harry. But she never mentions the father, never, where she did before. Then she was actually, because she still needed him. But then as soon as Prince Harry came into the picture, she didn't need him anymore. So bye-bye, daddy, bye-bye. But I am authentic. My produce is authentic. Even though I isolated my family, my husband's family from the children, my product are very authentic because I am authentic. Here's what I do with my hands to show you my authenticity. Unbelievable. How long is this thing? Oh my God. I gotta skip over it. This is too long. Holy. Whoa. Holy.
How important is it to own your own story?
It's the most important thing in the world.
Mhm.
Do you feel like you own your own story?
I know I do.
Mhm.
And if you know me, you know that I do. I think there are always going to be moments where you feel as though a story is being told about some caricature of you that actually has nothing to do with you.
Mhm.
And that can be really hard to reconcile.
Yeah.
But I think the more comfortable you get with yourself, certainly age helps. I'll be 44. It's great. It's great. And I just think there really is a lot of value to when you anchor into your own knowing, then you're telling your own story.
Yeah.
You're telling your own story and how you show up in the world, what you do. You actually don't need to say anything.
Mhm.
You can show who you are.
People think they know who you are. Your story has been told 1,000 ways, but I want to hear it from you. So when you were 11 years old, you protested an ad that you thought was sexist.
Oh my God, I can't
Oh,
wait.
and I found
Can you
it.
tell me about
Linda
this?
Ellerby.
Yes, I want you to watch
We're
it.
gonna talk about the same.
Oh gosh, I remember these.
Oh, now the one thing that's kind of stood out to me from this whole segment, people think they know you, but they don't. They only know a caricature of you. You are the caricature, Meghan, because you don't know how to distinguish yourself from the caricature. You're one with the caricature of you. You do not know what it's like to be a real human being. You do not. I've never seen anybody ever in my life, especially an actress. Okay, she's done a show, but an actress. She was around her father, who was dealing with actors. He was a lighting designer, I believe, on set, and a good one at that. From, I believe he even got an Emmy award. But the caricature that you are saying that people only know of you, and that is who they are addressing negatively because they don't know you, because you have not been able to separate yourself from the caricature. You are always the caricature of you in this interview, on your show, in public, when having pictures being taken of you, when you're surrounded by your kids that you show from the back, when you're with your husband, as you call him. So how can they know you if you are the caricature? You're one. People may show a public persona when they go out, and a private one, but the great actors, the great entrepreneurs, the great visionaries, they also have to show their private selves in different moments to be able to have people identify with them so they can do what they want to do. You only are the caricature version of you. You are that because you lie about everything that is real. You don't know how to address a person who's interviewing you because you're coming up with all these lies because you want to sound like this bigger than life person. You're talking about owning your story. You know that you own your story. Why have you not owned the story of who you are before you met Prince Harry, but now you think you do? And you now should be able to, because he's offered you the platform. Do you know how many people will give anything to have 25% of the privilege that you have of the platform, to be able to own their stories in a fascinating, intriguing, original, authentic way? They have the talent, they have the skills to do that, and you don't. They have the skills, but they don't have your platform. You have this platform that's giving you so many opportunities, and you have no idea how to take that on because you think you are bigger than life and you are lacking any skills, acting skills, cooking skills. All of it, because you're in denial of who you are. So then you come out as a caricature, as a cardboard, not as a human.
Classmates too. Let's see.
Commercial. I knew something would be done because I was
I still make that
furious.
face.
And I said, wait a minute, how could somebody say that? I think I'll write a letter.
I did. I wrote a few. Yeah.
Tell me about that girl and how she grew up.
Yeah, I grew up in LA and I had a great childhood. That time was really fascinating because that day that we were watching that commercial at school was also when the LA riots were happening. And so you have this contrast of the city was going on lockdown. We're very young and don't fully understand what's going on. It was a very tense time in Los Angeles with race relations. And they put on the TV because all of us kids had to stay there until our parents could come and pick us up. That commercial happens to come on. And I remember, look, the boys in the classroom said, yeah, that's where women belong, in the kitchen. And that's really what upset me. It was a very turbulent time in our city and a lot of uncertainty. But the one thing I was certain on, in all of this was that's wrong. Let's do something about it. And it was just so empowering to know that at a really young age, your voice could be heard well before social media, where everyone doesn't just have a soapbox. And then I went into middle school feeling very confident because I was able to affect change for good.
That is to say, that girl has been in you since the beginning.
Yes. I think our character, who we are at your core, I don't think that shifts. I think a lot of behaviors and habits and roles that you end up playing in your life can bring out the best or worst in a lot of people, but you're still who you are.
Is there an inherent tension in trying to be relatable while also being a duchess?
No, I don't find, I'm just being myself. So I think probably it was different several years ago where I couldn't be as vocal and I had renewed pantyhose all the time.
So bad. I cannot believe this. You know what gives her away in this whole segment about her childhood and the whole garbage story with the little girl that changed the liquid soap and all of that, which is not true. And she tells that all the time. How many times are you going to talk about Suits? And how many times are you going to tell the story that you wrote a letter, which is not even true? It was a school project. Everybody had to do it. But you know what's lacking again? Because the most word that I'm using in this episode when watching this, I can't believe I have to watch the whole thing. I don't have to watch it, but I'm going to. What's lacking the most is she has no emotional reaction to herself as a young girl. As an actor, if she were a trained actor, without even thinking about it, because we have to do a lot of exercises, having to go back into our childhood, having to deal with events from our childhood, so we can build a repertory as actors to then be able to go to those events and be able to get triggered to bring out emotions the characters need that we are playing. But that requires a lot of training. And this shows she has no training whatsoever. She doesn't have an emotional reaction to anything. She speaks about, I wanted to create change. I knew that little girl was in me from the very first moment. She was that person, a little girl. My younger version is still in me, creating change. I wanted to do what's good. but without any kind of emotional reaction to seeing herself or to recalling herself in those moments. She's so freaking cold and emotionless. She doesn't have any kind of emotional register. If you watch specifically, she only has like one range. That's all she does. And then she talks about being her real self again, which she talks all the time. Why would you have to say that all the time if you were real? And then as soon as she says it, she goes into the gesture of putting her hand under her chin, which is so unreal. Who sits like this? Who sits like this? Do you sit like that when you're talking to someone? Watch yourself and see how many times do you sit like that, unless you sit like this because you want to, I don't know, hold your face on the back of your palm because you're tired, or because your back is hurting and you want to go, hitting my head, or you want to go like this. But who does this on a couch with one finger this way? You know who was doing that also? She just reminded me, another there was a true crime that I was watching, the Karen Reed trial. A lot of people know because it was a global event. Everybody was watching Karen Reed. And she was doing that when she was in court. She was a defendant. She got off. She was found not guilty, blah, blah. And I think she should have been found guilty. But that's another discussion. I love true crime too. So I'm doing this in between watching another trial with Donna Adelson, this crazy family from Florida. Maybe I should do analysis on true crime. Yeah, that's something that I might be doing. I don't know. But even as she's saying what she wants us to believe she is, she appears contrary to what she's saying. That's how bad she is at being real and truthful. It's unbelievable. I don't know why she doesn't take acting classes. I don't know why she doesn't hire an acting coach. Now, it's never too late. Great actors maintain relationship with their acting coaches and they continue to train, because acting is learning how to be. We never stop learning how to be in real life. So why would they stop being learning how to be in their acting when it's requiring you to come up with even more interesting parts of yourselves to be able to lend them to all these characters so you can keep the audience be interested because you are interesting. If you are not interesting, you cannot make a character interesting. And that's exactly what's happening. She's trying to portray a character of herself that's interesting, but she has no interesting qualities about herself. That's why she cannot do it. And she doesn't think that she could try to train herself and she would be learning how to find some other parts, one of them, the real one that we've never seen. Leave the caricature to the side. Nobody's commenting on your caricature as another side of you. You are the caricature. You don't need to learn how to do that. You're doing it. Learn how to be a real human. Learn how to be a human, not even real, a human. To move like a human, to talk like a human, to have emotional recalls from your childhood that maybe will bring some sort of an emotional, momentary pause and make you think for a moment. Maybe you haven't done so great by your family, in regard to your family or Prince Harry's family. But those never come up because she doesn't leave herself alone to be able to breathe from a real place within. Even the faces, like now, the one that I just captured. What is that? Tension. There's a lot of tension in the face. There's a lot of tension in the forehead. There's a lot of tension here in the body. If there's tension in the body, there's tension in the mind. So nothing real can flow up to come out in an interview. Nothing. I'm not upset. I'm having fun being able to do analysis. This is only my interpretation. Now I'm talking like her. This is my acting analysis on this person, on this caricature, as if she were a character. So don't come yelling at me, those Sussex's followers.
Let's be honest, that was not very myself. I hadn't seen time.
What was this?
Your life can bring out the best or worst in a lot of people, but you're still who you are.
Is there an inherent tension in trying to be relatable while also being a duchess?
No, I don't find, I'm just being myself. So I think probably it was different several years ago where I couldn't be as vocal and I had renewed pantyhose all the time. Let's be honest, that was not very myself. I hadn't seen pantyhose since movies in the 80s when they came in a little egg. That felt a little bit inauthentic, but that's a silly example. But it is an example of when you're able to dress the way you want to dress and you're able to say the things that are true and you're able to show up in the space really organically and authentically.
I cannot believe that she's bringing pantyhose into this conversation. The reason why she hasn't seen pantyhose in such a long time, she's poking the royal family because when she married Prince Harry, she was required to wear pantyhose and she hated the fact that she had to do so. The reason why she did not want to wear pantyhose, and this is only my opinion, but I know from my own experience, I do not like to wear them because my legs are very skinny in comparison to the rest of my body. So I don't know this about her, but in my opinion, I can only go with what I know from my own experiences. And when you have very skinny legs, skinnier than your arms, which no body shaming, I'm not saying anything against that at all, but you do not want to put pantyhose because it gives the impression that you have even skinnier legs. So it's not like she didn't want to wear them because the royal family was imposing on her to wear them. And she was so against wearing them for that reason. She didn't want to wear them because she knows she has skinny legs. Just say that. But no, she wants to attribute all of these stupid minor things as keeping her from being herself in the royal family. You don't know how to be yourself anywhere. So I don't understand how the royal family kept you from being yourself when you don't know how to be yourself. They gave you the opportunity to now have this interview. They gave you the opportunity to now have more people watching you not know how to be yourself. Don't you understand that's what's happening? That is exactly what's happening. But she's not linking those things. She's blaming the royal family for everything. Oh, it's very difficult, or I'm just paraphrasing what she said, when you cannot dress how you feel, when you cannot do who you are, but you're still doing everything that you were doing during the royal family, and you're still not being yourself. You're dressing the same way that you were dressing under the prohibition that they put on you when it came to dressing. So I don't understand. She's not making any sense. She's trying to find excuses. She's blaming other people for her own lacks of skills instead of figuring out what she can do to better herself, to learn how to be, just to learn how to be herself. I don't think she's ever been able to do that, because it would have come up in points if she knew how to. It would have organically come up, but it's never come up, not even for a moment, not on the red carpets, not on nowhere have we seen her be herself. She's always holding on to this caricature of herself that she believes is the perfect Meghan Duchess now, instead of realizing the royal family had such an important impact on her life. They provided this platform. She should be grateful for it. She should take advantage of it. She shouldn't keep going back to 20 years ago when she was, I don't know how old, and she wrote a letter with other kids her age to change the soap. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's all these complaints that make no sense because none of it is true.
That's being comfortable in your own skin. And that's, of course, had different chapters in my life. But right now, no, I don't feel that I need to prove anything.
That said, Meghan and Harry are trying to establish themselves on new ground, and they're taking some big swings. After coming to California, they dropped a hit tell-all documentary series on Netflix. But a podcast Meghan launched with Spotify had a short run. She returned to the screen in March with a show With Love, Meghan, where she, alongside friends and celebrity guests, shares her tips for cooking, gardening, and hosting. It was greenlit for a just-released season 2.
It was a
What's your vibe on launch day? Are you zen or are you like gritting your teeth?
Oh, no. Very zen.
Yeah.
Because it's done.
Emily, why don't you ask the follow-up questions that should be asked? This is not a second season. This is a season that was already filmed when their guy dog, the old puppy who passed away years ago, is still in the new season. So they filmed that a long time ago. It's footage that was left over because Netflix is trying to get money out of her, the money that they couldn't get when they first signed them up for Netflix, thinking that they were going to be these innovative, amazing creators, her and Prince Harry, and they were going to make them a lot of money. And then they realized, oh, these people are not talented. They don't know how to do anything. They don't even know how to be people. They don't know how to do it. So it's like, why are you asking all these questions? The only one that worked, the first that she showed, Emily, was the one that they absolutely disparaged the royal family because people love gossip. That was the only one that had conflict. So it's again due to the royal family that they got their Netflix connection, because that was the first one that Netflix did. But then as soon as they were deciding they want to be private in public, not even knowing what that is, private in public is a term that actors use because you have to be as private as you can while the entire world is seeing you. But you have to be yourself. By that, I mean you have to be you, private, you, not the caricature of you. It's all bananas. It's all crazy. And this woman, Emily, the interviewer, asked her the right question. Look at her face. Look at the Duchess face. Duchess, listen, change your expressions. Do you have any kind of emotional flow through you so you can have different expressions than just one? Is there a range? How many ranges of emotion did you have on Suits? I haven't seen the show and I'm not going to watch it to find that out. But come on. It's done. The new season is coming as if it was renewed because it did so well. It didn't do well.
Yeah, it's done. So I think I sort of approach that with anything that I pour my heart into and create is you've done everything you can. And then you have to let it go.
How much preparation would go into a With Love shoot? Like, are you memorizing recipes? Are you sharpening?
You haven't done everything that you can and then you let it go. You think you've done everything you can and then you let it go. If you want to do everything you can before a show, you ask other people their opinions and what they think about what you're doing. Are you real? Do you come across as real? You're the one that said in the beginning of the interview, people who say negative comments about you, they don't know you. They only know a caricature of you because all you are is a caricature. But you don't know that because you're not even taking the negative comments, which are actually positive if you were just paying attention. They tell you, you've got to do more to know how to be authentic. Start with not lying to us anymore. Start with being real. But you're saying, no, I'm just considering those because those are people who, in their secret lives, they go home and they cherish me and my show, but they just won't say it online. No, they don't. They don't have anything to relate to because you're not relatable. Unless maybe to aliens from another planet. But even that, A caricature can only be relatable for 5 or 10 minutes. And then after that, you want something different as a human being, because you want to be involved in what they're doing. You want to experience what they're doing. I don't even know how she comes. I don't even know how she's not embarrassed to say these things. I mean, does she have a moment of reflection when she thinks, oh my God, I'm lying? I don't think she knows that she's lying, because she doesn't know. The less you know, the less you know how much you don't know. I think that's where she is at.
Your knife skills, are there hours of taste tests?
It's a great question. A lot of prep and a huge crew, which I think people often forget. That was a crew of 80 people. So most of it in the pre-production was inspired by recipes that I love to make, who I was entertaining, and then test it all out. Yeah, it's a lot.
The show hit the top 10
Yeah,
globally. And yet there were mixed reviews.
I watched every episode of the Meghan Markle Netflix show, so you don't have to.
Today, my guest is a dear friend who I've known for about 20 years. So welcome in, Fabian.
Meghan, right?
Yeah, Megan, right.
I saw so many people recreate her recipe. So like, where's the hate coming from?
How did that land for you?
I think I knew who I was trying to meet. And so if you know your audience, you know your demographic, well, they love the show. And my partners love the show. And that's why we have a season 2 and why we have more fun coming. So I think oftentimes the negative voices, are they saying negative things and then secretly going home and making single skillet spaghetti? Possibly. And that's all right.
I'm not even going to address this, because I just addressed it before, because I think this was the clip that they showed in the beginning of the interview. That's what I'm saying. Look at those people who are making fun of you. There's so many people. I was one of them, making fun of you because we want to tell you, wake up. We want to tell you, listen, you have a platform that gives you the opportunity to do so much good in the world. If not, give it to somebody else to use it with real talent and skills. No, nobody goes home to love you in secret. It was bad. I know my audience. How many people in the audience loved it? The same people who have no understanding of who they are as people. They loved it. What did they love about it? Tell me 3 things that they loved about it. Tell me 3 authentic things. You're not authentic. Your food is not authentic. Your house is not authentic. What did they love? What? You know what? More people, there are more audiences watching bad shows out there, and there are fewer audiences watching great shows out there. More people are watching bad actors, less people are watching great actors. You know why? Because sometimes watching great and real is more difficult to deal with, because it puts the mirror in front of your life, and you have to deal with things about yourself that you might not be ready to deal with. So of course, those people who watch, maybe they're not ready to see great shows, and your mediocre show was good enough. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm glad that you had an audience of people who are now ready to self-reflect. Instead of taking those comedy clips and learning and accepting those comments. At the same time, you accept, yes, you have an audience, but at the same time, I had people who hated it. Why? Let me figure out why. I stay away from the reviews. I don't believe them. Those people go home, then they love me secretly. They're in love with me. They're making love to me. They're giving me hugs the same way that I hug everybody, my guests who come on. A lot of preparation. Preparation for what? The guy, the director, Michael something, who was the director of the show, he was the same director who did the amazing show of Anthony Bourdain, the amazing artist who passed on years ago. I mean, that was an amazing show. You had this amazing director who he poured every talent that he had, having learned from such an amazing person as Anthony Bourdain. And still, he couldn't make of it a lot, because you're in every episode. as the protagonist of your show, you need to reveal different personalities. You need to reveal new things about yourself that you don't even know, but you surprise yourself in finding them on the show. But they can't all be caricature. They can't be all this three gestures, all these three gestures, emotionally, physically, mentally, that you only know how to do. Those are not enough. They get boring to watch. Lady, or hey dude, what was the guy? Popcorn Planet, the Royal Popcorn Planet. He was like laughing watching this.
They're trying to pay their bills, and that's for them to sort out if they're comfortable doing it at someone else's detriment. From my standpoint, the intention of the show was to share more of myself,
Look, I'm
to
doing
share tips that I love in my life, and to have fun.
But there's this take that you're glorifying homemaking or glorifying trad wives.
Oh, really? That feels odd to me.
That feels odd.
Yeah, how do you respond to that?
That feels odd to me. I mean, I hadn't heard that. But I'm really unapologetic about the fact that though, would it be lovely to go and churn your own butter? Sure, maybe. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. And I don't think you get an extra gold star if you do that. So for me, a lot of it is, how do you show up thoughtfully? I don't have time to make dinner every night. I wish I did. I don't have time for that. I'm great at ordering takeout and plating it beautifully. And look, and yes, do I have small things where even on my kids' plates, I wipe the side of the plate? Someone might go, oh my gosh, that's so ridiculous. For me, that's 2 seconds where I get to present something that looks a little bit more beautiful. I have absolutely no judgment on trad wives. If that works for them, then they should do it. But for me, I think there is an in-between. And joy for me comes in finding that sweet spot in the middle.
This year, alongside her Netflix.
Oh, my goodness. I don't understand what people are saying. What are they talking about? That I don't make my own butter. I don't have time. How would you like me to make my own butter? When? I don't have time for that. Good for those people who have the time. I am a Duchess of Sussex who's married to Prince Harry. I got a lot of work to do. How would I be able to find time to do all of that? I don't know. You're not doing anything. You're not learning anything. You're not taking acting classes. You're not improving yourself. What do you do that you don't have time to do that? You know how to do three gestures. I'm sure you had an acting coach who showed you those before the Stanislavski system came into the global stage of the world and acting was changed. Do you learn from before Stanislavski? Somebody to show you do this, oh, what? They're saying that? That doesn't make any sense to me. How would they want me to spend more time in the kitchen? I don't have the time. I like to present. I like to make presentations, which are to elevate by swiping the plate from the mess of the food before I give it to my children. And then I go looking back at it. Oh, what am I doing? What are you doing, Meghan Markle? You're Duchess. What are you doing now? You're cleaning the plate of your prince and princess. Does that sound real? How would I come up to you? How would I come out to you if I were to talk like that? Would that sound real? If you have anybody else in the whole world who would come to do an interview in the same way, how would that look to you? If your friend, you're going out for coffee with a friend, and somebody comes and says, oh, what? They're saying about me? Those things? But when would they want me to do all the real human things? I don't have time to be a human. I'm Duchess. Caricature Duchess. Caricature of a Duchess. I think aliens will leave quickly if they met her. Oh my God, that's so funny. Yes, season 1, part 2. Exactly. The Duchess relatable. Yeah, bless you. Yeah, we see that face all the time. Not the dish soap commercial. I don't. She wants a maid of. Now I'm doing her things. I'm like, oh, see, she's influencing us on doing the bad things, Libby. Jesus. Jesus. Dumnezeule, ce se întâmplă aici? Ce se întâmplă aici, Meghan? Meghan Markle, ce faci? Iubito. Iubito. This is long. This is long. Oh my God. I think I'm going to do half of it. No, I'm going to skip.
Series, Meghan made her first move into online retail with As Ever. It's an evolution of her passion for lifestyle content, which dates back to the TIG, a blog she launched in 2014 that touted fashion, beauty, and travel tips.
We talked about
That shut down shortly after she started dating a prince. Meghan wouldn't share sales figures for As Ever, but so far, most of its inventory has quickly.
Why wouldn't she share figures, money, how much money you made? She's selling everything out, but she doesn't want to concretely show us the facts in selling her product. That's what I'm talking about. She married a prince. She had a TIG, and it was so popular. No, it wasn't. This woman, Emily, makes it seem like Prince Harry came into the picture and devastated her life because she was already Gwyneth Paltrow's level with the twig. No, she was not. Nobody made her switch off twig. She wanted Prince to get back to twig and change the name to As Ever. She doesn't want to show money made, and it's not about concrete evidence. No, she doesn't want practical, real. No, it's all about let's fake our way through it. Okay, this is too much. I'm gonna.
Cobbler that I love. I said, great, of course I can make my cobbler. Great, can you make 1 million cobblers? Can you teach someone how to make 1 million?
This is, and she laughed.
My 15-year-old self would have been able to buy, and then after you finish the jam,
Oh my God.
What about pricing? Like, how did you determine your pricing strategy?
You got to listen to this. This is like so narcissistic on her part. You got to listen to this.
Like, what are the margins?
yes, the pricing I think is key. From my standpoint, I know where I came from. I remember being in high school and having my after-school job, and all I wanted to do was save up to buy a shirt that said BB.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
That
I
just
had a
said
lot of
BB.
BB.
And if you could get the one with the rhinestone BB, you really made it. And I always think about that version of me, who there might be a brand or a person that you look up to and you want to have a piece of what they're sharing in the world. And that can't be something that is out of price range. That can't be something that is so aspirational, you're never going to be able to afford it. So there is something I think really important in that the first hero product was this $9 jar of jam, which my 15-year-old self would have been able to buy. And then after you finish the jam, you could use that to put your flowers in it, little jar, or your pens on your desk. And I like the idea of having something that just felt signature in that way, and keepsake packaging and affordable.
Celebrity brands are all the rage right now. What's going to make yours stand out?
I think the authenticity is probably what will help it stand apart. Also the price point. I think certainly when we're looking at economically what's happening right now, you really want things to be in a range that people can still have a piece of, whatever ends up happening with our economy. More than anything, I've just poured so much love into this brand. And I would say the same for so many of these celebrities who probably have dreamed of something for a long time. And
Did you hear about how she said that people would want a piece of her and they should get the strawberry jam and then keep the jar empty and put crayons or pencils? Like, this is what people are thinking about in today's global economy. Like, seriously, that's what you think people are aspiring to do, to buy a jam? Glass jar to put their pencils in because they want a piece of you? Are you freaking crazy? Are you crazy? Are you out of your freaking mind? Because you are out of this world, relatable. Nobody can understand what you're talking about. To have that kind of narcissistic attitude and really see yourself as that. Why should people buy your stuff? Because of my authenticity. You're not authentic. One gram of jam. You're not authentic. 1 gram of jam. Do you understand that? Oh my God, now I'm doing her things. I have to sit on my hands because I'm starting to get the bad acting from her. That's what happens when you're acting with a bad person. Your partner is an actor who's bad, and you start taking their bad mannerisms. When you're acting with greatness, then you become greater yourself. And that's what you should learn. You should learn to let other people who are great teach you how to move towards that direction. But no, she knows it all. She knows it all. And she's just like, they see it coming to fruition. Why would they buy it? You see all these other entrepreneurs who are mega movie stars. Yes, Meghan, because they've made themselves mega movie stars by doing a lot of work and training to get there. You haven't. You can't just marry a prince and then all of a sudden consider yourself to be on the same level of the A-listers and start to sell jam, because you haven't done your greatness act. Not second act, like Emily saying, is she going to be able to achieve her second act? No, you haven't done your first act. You've only done suits. Act requires greatness. Act requires human behavior, self-reflection, work, preparation. Oh, it's filled with love. They should buy my stuff because I've poured my love. What love? The same love that you poured for your father that you don't even mention? You talk about your childhood and you never mention him? That kind of love? How can you pour love into your jar of jam when you can share it with your family? Not only don't share it, but denigrate your family and your husband's family. What love is left? You can't just say things because you say them. If they don't make sense, they don't make sense. Contradictions, lies. We're not stupid. Not all audiences are stupid to believe what you say and do. I'm not saying those people are stupid, but there are more audiences out there who are starting to figure you out and see you as the caricature, because that's who you are. You're a caricature of yourself. I don't know yourself. I don't think you know who you are. So hard for us to see who you are. What did she say? At the same time, when they see it come to fruition. Oh my God. Come to fruition because of the platform, because of Prince Harry. You married him. You still have to do the work and you have to learn yourself how to be.
At the same time, when they see it come to fruition, for a lot of them, are they writing copy and doing all these things that maybe they are, which I think is incredible. Everyone is putting out something unique in the world, even if it feels like there's a million tequilas. I'm sure they all have a different point of view in some regard. And I really do believe that a high tide raises all boats. I believe that. I think there's room for all of us.
It's a very crowded room. Celebrities like Rihanna, Selena Gomez, and Ryan Reynolds built
She's comparing her to Rihanna. She's comparing her to Ryan Reynolds, like I said, George Clooney. She's comparing her. Why are you comparing her with these people? She's done a basic cable suit show. Why are you putting her in the same category? These interviewers and the media is making her be what she's not. That's why she gets all these delusional interpretations about herself, because she's not paying attention to the real people telling her who she is and how bad the show is and how inauthentic she is. She's listening to people like Emily on Bloomberg, who put her on the same category with all these people who are amazing artists. She's not even an actress. She's not an actress. She did one cable show.
billion-dollar businesses by capitalizing on their fame to influence consumer behavior. It's creating something of an entrepreneurial arms race in Hollywood. The most popular verticals are beauty, fashion, and alcohol. Meghan's rosé, while getting good reviews,
And I thought that it would be great just to build out my own teams as well, and then sort of green light.
Word.
Creatively, they're very
to influence consumer behavior. It's creating something of an entrepreneurial arms race in Hollywood. The most popular verticals are beauty, fashion, and alcohol. Meghan's rosé, while getting good reviews, is joining a pretty packed celebrity shelf. To build a brand that endures beyond the viral launch, some celebs have partnered with operators or raised capital from outside investors. Meghan is taking a different approach.
The Netflix of it all. You have a really unique relationship with them. How does it work? Like, take us behind the curtain.
Sure.
Who has the last word?
Creatively, they very graciously said, no, this is your baby and this is your brand. So all said, no, this is your baby and this is your brand. So all.
When you're asking someone to take you behind the curtain, that means that that person has the ability to be able to reveal to us the real happenings and going ons. But in order for somebody to be able to do that, they have to be able to reveal who they are as people. How is somebody going to take you behind the curtain when she cannot know how to do being in front of the curtain, in front of us? Netflix, she goes on to lie about it instead of saying the only reason I got Netflix is because I'm married to Prince Harry. No, she says I have creatively the most freedom because they realized that this show is my baby. It's only my baby. So they gave me the creative license to do whatever I want. That's how much they appreciate me because I'm such a talent. No, that's not it. You're married to Prince Harry. They gave you a show. They thought you would be a little bit more talented. They realized you're not. And now they're trying to cut all ties. But they don't want to do it all of a sudden because they're still hoping. I don't know why, but they're still hoping that there's something. You do have a little bitty, teeny talent somewhere because you're still married to Prince Harry. If Prince Harry was not part of this, you would not be here on Netflix giving you creative license because this is your baby. So she lies about this. Netflix loosens its ties to Harry and Meghan. This is their reality because they saw you have no talent. And your husband with polo and all the other stupid things. I understand why they came together. I never could understand at first, but I understand. The most lacking of skills of any kind are these two people, so they can talk to each other and build each other up by lying to themselves, lying to each other and listening only to people who kiss their butts. God.
Is the path to profitability.
Mm-hmm. The scaling is going to be key. And certainly I waffle with some of my choices before I make them. I'm generally very decisive, but social media is a great barometer for this for me because putting out a video of myself 9 months pregnant was a really big choice, but I also wanted people to see themselves in my story and our story and to be able to show that with all the noise that might happen in the world on a day-to-day basis, real life is still happening behind the scenes. Really real life.
But you put that out there and some people they tear it apart.
I'm sure they did. I don't know. But I also protect myself from seeing that.
It's been interesting preparing for this interview because every day you search for your name and there's like 1,000 different news stories about 1,000 different things.
Yes.
And so.
But I guess the distinction there is those people don't know me and they're not talking about me. And that's a really hard place to come to terms with.
Yeah.
But that's the truth. So if you can really compartmentalize it and go, oh, right, there is a very, very powerful machine.
Oh my
and
God.
It's all about generating income.
The machine that
Those stories aren't just appearing because it's fun. Clickbait has a huge financial.
Okay, so now she's telling us the people who see her for who she is, not a real person. She talks about the fact that we are a machine, people who see through her, people who see you as the caricature that you are because you're only showing one dimension of a human being. You're saying that we're a machine because we are people and we can react to what you are not giving us. Because you're giving us no human behavior and comportment and feelings and thoughts and emotions and relations with people. We're a machine. Great. See how she's finding excuses because she doesn't want to take any criticism. Oh, and I put out there the dancing, the 9 months pregnant dancing because I wanted people to relate to me. Why do you think that people relate. Why would they want to relate to you? She's such a narcissistic. She's such a narcissist. Every time that she talks about doing something, she then says, because I wanted people to relate to my story. No, Meghan, people don't relate to your story because you're married to a prince. Nobody related to your story before you were married to a prince because you lacked skills of any sort. You have no talent. And even now, when you would have the platform to teach yourself, to hire people to listen to those negative comments that you're protecting yourself from, to learn how to be relatable, you don't want to do it because you say, I protect myself from the people who give me great advice, is pretty much what it is. I listen to the ones who love my vulgar butt dancing, and you expect me to relate to that story of you dancing 9 months pregnant with Prince Harry. I don't relate to that. It's vulgar. That's a private moment. It is not a vulgar moment. There's a difference between private in public and vulgar in public. Huge difference. Anybody can be vulgar in public. In acting, you're trying to show your audience how amazing you are by doing something vulgar. They will reject you. Private means public solitude, means inner understanding of offering a private moment to people so they can relate to. It's not vulgar in public.
Implication. And so if I'm part of an SEO and that gets them more clickbait, then yes, they're incentivized to churn out as many stories that they're talking about every single chapter. And then you layer in just the natural change that happens as we get older. I don't think there's anything valuable about trying to be perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. And I guess my version of the closest thing to perfection would be being really comfortable in your own skin. And I do think that comes with time.
And with that, it felt like a perfect time for some fresh air. Meghan tipped us off to a great local spot.
My God. I mean, this is like really, I mean, who are the people out there who still support and follow her? I mean, no disrespect, but really, I'm curious who they are. Who are they? Perfect is not a possibility when all she does is trying to sit perfectly, walk perfectly, put her hands in the air perfectly, which makes her so freaking unreal. But then she says there's no perfection when all she does is trying to be perfect, but she doesn't know who she is. The most thing that you want to achieve, the best thing to know how to try not to be perfect, I'm paraphrasing, is to feel good in your own skin. How can you feel good in your own skin when you can't even sit down properly as a human? And you don't know you can't put your hands and just listen to a question without thinking what gesture you're going to make in response to that question. Just listen. You don't have to be the center of attention all the time. Let the interviewer ask the question, listen to the question, and answer. Don't think about what fake gestures you're going to do with every answer. That's not feeling comfortable in your own skin. You don't feel comfortable in your own house. You don't feel comfortable in your own anything.
Where we continued the conversation, from raising kids to the state of the world, and what's really in a name? Well, a lot, apparently.
Have you heard of this place?
I haven't. I'm excited.
I would love an IPA. And then I'm having the jalapeno.
I'll have
like
a
cheese.
regular smash.
Yeah,
Yeah, a cheeseburger smash.
One regular
Smashy,
burger.
smashed cheeseburger.
Here's our number. Thank you. Okay, so
Yum.
I think you're gonna love it.
I'm hungry and thirsty. So this is perfect.
Well, you're in the right place.
All right. Cheers. So, I mean, obviously this is a quieter town. Can you actually get a drink in peace?
Yes.
Yeah.
We go out a lot. I love it. I go out with my girlfriends for dinner and lunches, and obviously my husband and I have a lot of date nights because it's important. But yeah, we go out a lot in our community, in Montecito and in Santa Barbara, and people are just really friendly.
Are there any tricks to being incognito?
No, We're not trying to be incognito.
Okay.
Different chapter.
If you had total anonymity for a month, what would you do?
I would go grocery shopping every day. I miss grocery shopping so much. Though I'm very much on Instacart. I would do that. I would travel in a different way. I used to travel so much, and we can, but it has a lot of layers. So I would just backpack and road trip and be able to be a little bit more spontaneous.
I was talking with Melinda French Gates about how we're living in such a charged time right now, and sometimes it feels
This is the most ridiculous thing. So they leave the indoors for the second part of the interview, which I'm going to do at a later time because this is too long. I cannot, even trying so hard to do it, like I just can't. And she goes outside, and before she goes outside, she takes this woman who's, I told you, remember what I said before? If you're acting with a great actor, you tend to become greater because you have to kind of get yourself up there to their level. But if you're having a conversation with someone who's inauthentic, then you start to take on their gestures like I was doing. I was like, oh, doing this and doing that. And that's what Emily, this interviewer, is doing. She's like, she started to put on this like fake laugh. Oh, I love it here. How do you feel about being so recognized by so many people? Nobody recognizes her. She wants to be recognized because she calls the paparazzi to come after her. Paparazzis. She's the one that gives them the instruction where to come and find her. How does it feel what would you like to do if you were not the Duchess at the level of recognition? Oh, I'd love to go backpacking. Yeah, right. But then she travels with security guards as if she were the president of some country. She travels via private jets. She travels in New York pretending to have people following her to give her the public status of the famous people that she doesn't have. Like everything that she's saying is completely the opposite of the truth. And this woman doesn't call her out on it. I know Libby Wilson, she needs more time to be comfortable in her own skin. Oh my God. Yeah, she did the same, earning money while bashing the roles on Oprah show and Netflix. That's the only time that she was actually, that was the only thing that people watched her, like a lot of people watched. The only successful things. Lies. They are not replications of your recipes, only what you could purchase cheaply and slap her label on it. And you know what she did before she put her claws on Prince Harry? She was dating in Toronto when she was doing the Suits show. She was dating a chef. And I don't know where I read somewhere, people who were saying that she actually stole the recipes from her ex, the chef. He was a famous chef who owned restaurants in Toronto where she was filming Suits. So she won't even mention that. I mean, this is ridiculous. She wants to go backpacking. I want to go grocery shopping. I want to go grocery shopping. Seriously. Like you did everything from the time you were a child when you had a picture, when you posed in front of Buckingham Palace in England. You had your eyes on Princess Diana. You were putting a crown on in your backyard, pretending to be a princess. Everybody knows you wanted to get your hands on Prince William. That's why the whole thing happened when the relationship with Prince Harry began. She saw, this is my only chance that I have now. Princess Catherine, the most sophisticated human being. Now there's a human being. There's an amazing future queen. Then Meghan puts her hands on Prince Harry, but she wants to go. If she only could go grocery shopping, people. Oh my goodness, why don't we let her go grocery shopping? I say we take her Duchess title. I say everybody disregard her public status. Just treat her as Meghan Markle. That's all she wants. Do you believe that really? Like really, those people who are the Sussex squad? Please wake up. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Let me leave it with this.
feels like no one is speaking up, and that, people aren't using their voices because it's scary to speak up. And she said, I don't think the voices are gone. They're just quietly strategizing.
The quiet part of the song is still part of the song.
What do you think of the direction our country is going in?
Oh my God. Why is this Emily interviewer talking about the wife of Bill Gates, the ex-wife of Bill Gates? Why? When talking to Meghan Markle, why? She was the one that, together with her husband, Bill Gates, built an empire together. They had skills. Why are you bringing that woman first, and then you're asking Meghan to give you her interpretation of what's going on in the world politically? Why are you people putting her in the same category as all these amazing people, visionaries who have contributed to the world in the most amazing way? Why? Emily?
I think right now it's a really interesting time for the entire world. I just hope that people are able to maintain the values that they feel are important to them, and to feel safe, and to remember our humanity with each other in all of it. Like, however polarized the world can be or feel, you go back to the fact that we're human beings and try to find the way that we can connect versus feel divided. I think that's the only way.
How can you give advice about people connecting to their humanity when you cannot connect to your humanity? How is that possible? And you, Emily, are not calling her on that. How is that possible? I'm going to rush through this because I have to finish it. I'm not going to go back to it.
Through whatever can feel trying.
On that note, you talked about growing up in LA.
Chaos erupts here in LA County. Widespread immigration raids triggering protests.
How does it feel to see your town simultaneously under threat and fighting back?
I've seen my town like that.
I think the best way to leave it is right now. I just want to say, Libby Wilson, thank you so much for your support and for your laughter that you provide with your comments. And it means so much to me. I'm going to leave it with this because now it gets into the politics. And now this woman, the interviewer, Emily, is giving Meghan the status of understanding politics and putting her on this level of politicians. And I've watched, I don't know how many hours of this, and it is lacking any acting skills. The reason why I say lacking any acting skills is because those acting skills are not just for actors. They're necessary for people in how to do their life. The behavior that we do in our life, the real behavior, our humanity, is what actors try to achieve in their acting. Their humanity is being presented so they can illuminate the human spirit. So for somebody to talk about our humanity has to be the focus. For Meghan to say that when she doesn't even know how her humanity is the focus of anything, because she can't go into that herself. She talks about the global status. She's giving us suggestions and to how we need to focus on our humanity when she can't even do her own, like her individual humanity. Thank you, everybody. I hope you will watch this. I have not seen or done Meghan Markle in a analysis from an acting perspective in a very long time, but I could not help but have to do this episode. I just think it's helpful to watch somebody because she teaches us, she's giving us the understanding of how we can be better because of her lacking all of that understanding or even wondering or being curious on how to do that. So thank you so much, everybody. Follow Mihaela is the temporary name of my YouTube channel. I hope you watch it. This is my interpretation of Meghan Markle doing an interview on Bloomberg with Emily. I hope you enjoy. Please let me know what you think. Thank you so much, Libby Wilson. Thank you so, so much. I know you are human. I love that. Thank you. I was just thanking you. I don't know if you were watching, but I just said I so appreciate your support, and I'm so grateful to you for your comments. They make me laugh. I laugh. You're so funny. Thank you so much. I wish you an amazing evening, an amazing I did which I try not to do. That's self-aware of doing things. You stop and you correct yourself, and it's okay that you correct yourself. That means that you're showing your flaws, because we all have them as humans. Anyway, follow Mihaela for now. That's the YouTube channel that I have. And then we'll see what title is gonna come to. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. Thank you everyone so much. Kisses. Thank you, Libby Wilson. See you soon. Mwah, mwah, mwah.